How much does it cost to release music? Just making a record can cost thousands of dollars, or if you're Metallica and you're recording the Black Album, it can cost $1.5 million. And even that pales into insignificance compared to how much Michael Jackson spent on the Invincible album, which was over $30 million. Invincible goes down in history as the most expensive record that has ever been made, and part of the reason is because he recorded 87 tracks before choosing the 16 that would actually go on the album. As well as that, MJ recorded in 3 separate studios, which he hired on a full-time basis so that he could decide which studio he wanted to record in on any given moment when he woke up. He also hired several world-famous producers, 9 of them in fact, and what makes this crazy is not only did he hire most of them to work with him, he also hired them not to work with anybody else until the album was made, which took 4.5 years. We are talking world-famous producers: Rodney Jenkins, Andre Harris, Teddy Riley, Babyface, R. Kelly. When you're in the creative process, you just want things to be amazing. After all, Michael Jackson just wanted to make the best album he could possibly make. But in doing so, the finances started to rack up and get out of hand, and he almost lost the entire back catalogue of Beatles songs that he didn't write. Now, all of this could have been avoided if he had a demo cash flow. That's right, a demo cash flow. One of these bad boys right here. Now, I've been using cash flows just like this one since I started my first business. In fact, it was a cash flow almost identical to this, which I built when we set up BIIIIG, which we kept using for the first 4 years to keep us on track. It keeps you in check with budgeting and planning, and most importantly, allowing you to set targets. This little bad boy will help you with all of the financial planning, all of the income and all of the outgoing, whether it's streaming or touring. This will keep you on track to help you strategize to get to the next level. And on that note, I have an official announcement, because today I am launching an exclusive community for artists and musicians who want to work with me a bit more closely. Now, this is a closed Facebook group where I can do weekly live streams, I can get in and answer a lot more questions, I can make a lot more video content, and also give priority to musicians and artists for certain opportunities that are cropping up through me on a kind of general weekly basis. As this community grows, it's not feasible for me to answer every DM, every comment, and every email. But this is a way that you can get access to me and work with me, as well as other like-minded musicians in a community-focused group. So if you want to be a part of this Facebook group, or you want to work with me on a more one-to-one mentoring basis, then the link is in the description below. It is www.damiankeys.com. So back to the cash flow. Now, this is all about inputting the income and the outgoing. So I want to start with some outgoings, because if we know what we're going to be spending on or the expenses, then that helps us to know how and what we're going to do to bring in that money on the income streams. So let's start with, say, rehearsals. Your band needs to rehearse. You're probably going to be rehearsing probably once a week. I'd love it if you're rehearsing 2 or 3 times a week. But let's say you're spending roughly $20-ish a rehearsal-ish, maybe 25, 30. But let's say you're spending around $100 a month on rehearsing. Let's put in, you might be spending more, you might be spending less. Hopefully you'll be spending more because you're spending more time rehearsing. But if I put in that through the year, you can now see how this cash flow works. Everything is automated. I've added in $100 a month, and down the bottom, it starts to add that up and tell me how much money we are going to spend over the year. Now, if I go into another column, let's say, for example, photo shoots. Photo shoots are so crucial when you're releasing a band single. And the reason for that is because it's the first impression. It's the first thing people see when they go on your socials. They might have heard your music and gone, oh, I like this. Who are these guys? And when you're answering that question, the photo is the most important thing. And I don't think bands spend enough time, effort, or money on a really good photo shoot. Now, we've got a video coming out next week, which is called How to Achieve the Perfect Band Photo. where we've taken a band and we've hooked them up with a world-class photographer, and you'll get to see the results on that. But let's just say you want to put in some photo shoots to promote your new single. I personally think that you should be doing a decent photo shoot every other month. And a decent photographer, a really decent photographer, will be costing you a couple of $100, $200-300. You might be able to get them for $150, but not as expensive as you'd think. So I'm going to put in fact, I'm going to put it in February. I'm going to put in February budget of marketing. I'm going to put in photo shoots, 200 in February, and I'm going to put 200 in April. Now, in doing so, again, you see down the bottom here, all of the expenditure starts to add up. Now, on top of that, you might say, right, what do I want to do next? Well, I want to have videos. Now, here's the thing. This one's going to blow a few of your minds. I love video. Obviously, I love making videos. I love consuming videos. We are in the world and the era of the video. But the music video is now slightly more alienated than it's ever been before. We do not live in the MTV era. MTV is dead. Now what MTV does is it plays you half-an-hour documentaries of pregnant 16-year-olds. Long gone are the days where people will sit all day watching MTV2 or Scuzz or Kerrang TV or any of the other music channels. Sure, people do watch, but it's not the same as what it used to be. Videos are so much more throwaway than they ever have been. So this idea of spending loads and loads of money on a music video is kind of obsolete because people want to watch it and throw it away. And yes, you do need one. So this is where creativity and doing things in a slightly cheaper way definitely help. Now you can spend anything up to $10,000 for a decent music video, but I'm going to say if you've got $500, you can get something decent and professional for a music video. So let's just say March and May, we're also going to do music videos. So I'm going to put in 500 there and 500 here. Now again, what we're doing is we're building up, but what we're actually seeing is how these costs can easily get out of hand when you start planning all the things that you want to do, if you want to do them properly. Now, another thing I want to talk about is Facebook ads. Facebook ads is something that people ask me about a lot. I have a few guys who are full-time in the office whose sole purpose is to run ads, Facebook, Instagram, Google ads. So, you know, they're specialists. And so I'm going to make a video in the next couple of weeks about advertising singles and albums using Facebook and Instagram. But what I usually say is £5 a day. If you can spare that as a band, then it's not a huge amount of money, especially if you're splitting it between a few of you, and it really does go a long way. Now, the problem isn't Facebook ads, which people seem to think. It usually is the funnel that you're bringing people into. When people see the ad, what are they seeing? What's the message? What do you need them to do? What's the call to action? When they click it, where are you taking them? These are the questions that we need to answer, which we'll do in a full-time video. But for now, I want to put in, let's say, another $100 a month on Facebook ads. So I'm going to put that, might be Instagram ads, but I'm just going to put them here into Facebook ads because that is the way I roll. Now, all of a sudden, within the year, we are already spending nearly $4,000 and we haven't gone on to merchandise. We haven't started with things like a website. What about things like merch? How are we going to actually record the next single or the album? All of these costs start to rack up, and that's why I think every single band needs a cash flow. Then we go on to the income side of the cash flow, and let me tell you something, it is still amazing that I am having conversations on a daily basis about selling music. People are still commenting, it's happened twice today, saying, why can't you sell music? It's not my fault. People don't buy music. Music's free. That's just the way it works. I feel like we need to move past this. Music is on Spotify, it's on Deezer, it's on YouTube, or it's on a CD. If it's on a CD, most people don't have a CD player, so therefore it's merchandise. They will buy it as a souvenir, but they're not buying it to use it. That's where they go to Spotify. And you say, but what about vinyl? Vinyl is the up and coming thing now. Well, if you actually look at the stats of vinyl in the top 40 albums that were released and went into the top 40 in 2019, 50% of them are old artists. In fact, 50% of them are dead. So, you know, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, David Bowie, Fleetwood Mac. I mean, even the artists who are releasing new albums that are getting bought on vinyl, we're still talking older artists like Liam Gallagher, like Coldplay. It's not for the younger generation as much as we think. So let's not go crazy on the old vinyl is making a huge comeback just yet. But when it comes to income streams, what can we rely on? Well, we can rely on streaming on Spotify or on YouTube. And yes, I know it's not crazy amounts of money, but at this point, we'll take anything we can get. And when it comes to CDs, I would put that in merchandise, but for the sake of it, I've put it of sales of music. Subscription services, like the one I told you about earlier, tickets, paid gigs, any of these things that we can start to think of that you can make money, even if it's busking or parties that you go and do, or crowdfunding. What income can we start to plan? Now, this is where your brain needs to get creative and start to think of things. What can you do with your music, with your talent to make money that can go in this cash flow that we can plan it over the next 12 months? So let's talk about streaming. And I don't make money from Spotify or Deezer, but I do make some money from YouTube. And whilst it's taken me 3 to 4 years of building up my YouTube channel, it is starting to pay off. So patience definitely helps. I'm putting the hard work in, which is why I'm always telling you guys to start working on Spotify and especially on YouTube. So for me, I bring in about $1,000 a month through YouTube. I feel like it's growing exponentially, so I think I'll probably start hitting $2,000 or $3,000 a month within the next 6 months. So I'm going to put that in. So all of a sudden, let's say you like me spend 3 years on building this stuff up, and then you start making $1,000 a month, and then maybe you make $1,500 for the next 2 months, and then maybe you make 2,000 because you can start to work on these targets. Now you can see if I drag that along, all of a sudden the bottom figure starts to level out. In fact, if we put what I feel like my streaming from YouTube is coming into the income stream, which will probably make this year $20,000 to $30,000 from YouTube, all of a sudden all of the things in the outgoings have now leveled out. In fact, you can see with what I've put in so far, I'm going to make $17,000 profit. So you can see whatever you put in from outgoings has to come in from somewhere, whether someone's giving you some money, whether you're putting some money from your day job into the income, or whether it's your music and your performances that are bringing in money. This allows you to balance what you're doing moving forward. So it allows you to plan that 6th single. It allows you to plan whether you want to have a PR company down the line. All of these decisions can be put in and you can say, we won't be able to afford that, or, oh, we've got some extra money. And instead of thinking, oh, there's some money in the bank, what should we do with it? You can plan forward and that will help your business grow so much faster. Now you can make your own cash flow. This one took me probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours because I'm not particularly very fast at it. But if you go on Excel or numbers, you can make your own cash flow. Now, this particular one goes into my Facebook group, so when people join, this is something you get access to. In fact, all of the PDFs that I now use from the videos that I make will be going into that group. So if you do want to be a part of that community, then that saves you a bit of time making your own cash flow. So this week's homework is I want you to get onto Excel or numbers and I want you to create one of these spreadsheets. And from there, I want you to start inputting the numbers. How much are you spending? How much do you want to spend? And how much are you going to bring income? That gives you some targets that you can set yourself and your bandmates so that you can plan the next 12, 24, 36, 48 months of that band's life. So thanks for watching. If you can do me a favor and like and subscribe, more importantly, come and be a part of this community. Leave a comment down below. Tell me the things that you are struggling with so I can make some more videos moving forward. I'm so proud of this community and what we are achieving. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow.